Okay. Past 16 days we've had about 12 days of rain, a couple of flash floods and a water in the basement like that. And fortunately it's been kind of cool, so the grass really hasn't gone crazy. Today it was yesterday it was sunny, today was a huge fog. So it's still a little wet out there, but with this mower it doesn't make too much difference because of the cleaning system, which is one of the things I'm going to show you after I finish mowing. The other thing I'm going to show you is how nice it is to be able to go in reverse and still mow. Now, it's a dog or two outside. Benny used to like to follow the mower, but after his vestibular disorder, it's really not a good idea, so I have him on a long tether with Buster also. So, I won't be saying much for the first few minutes till we get outside. This is a 46-inch deck, and the opening here is just wide enough to get out. And Benny's smart enough to get out of the way, but I don't trust his balance anymore to let him close to it just to play. It's not recommended anyway. It's really not supposed to have kids or dogs or anything else near the mower. So this is not seriously deep grass. There are some spots here where it's pretty mangy looking. Obviously you won't be able to hear me after I fire this up, so you can see that there's going to be a red light that comes on after I engage the PTO, and as long as that light is on I can mow forward or reverse. Which is a very nice thing to be able to do. can't get off it with the brake. Even with the brake on, if the PTO is engaged, you can't get off it. First I'm going to stop and brush that off, and then I'll show you the self-cleaning function with the hose. Okay, welcome back. The time since I finished, I went off to take care of business, and I brushed off the deck and the parts I can reach, and back here in the seat and under the seat, with just a regular little brush. And don't want to waste time showing you that. I hope you can brush off it. This here is a oil can for these little wheels. If you've never done it before, it just goes in the opening. Took care of that already. Well, for the main drive wheels of the mower get greased, and the deck underneath gets greased, so you don't have to do that every time. But it's a good idea to do those little wheels every time. That way you don't end up in a year or two with wheels that wobble and wheels that don't turn. And it keeps them good for a long time that way. Now for the self-cleaning thing, I meant to turn the hose on ahead of time and I forgot, but I have to go over there and do that. I did already screw the part that attaches to the mower. I took the nozzle off the hose and screwed on the part that attaches to the tractor. Now the hose is live, which is okay because this thing doesn't let water out until you attach it. It just screws on just like a nozzle, and there's the business end, and this attaches to the deck. Just goes on. Now you can hear water running down there. And I'm going to have to turn on the PTO, so I'm going to have to be sitting on it. Might be warm enough that it'll start right away. Of course, you won't be able to hear much once I come up to speed, so this thing has to run for 2 minutes once the water starts coming out, because that's how it cleans the blades and the underneath. So I'll edit that part. You don't need to watch that for 2 minutes. So be back in a few. As I mentioned before, I can't get off the seat unless the brake is on and the PTO is off. And it is. This thing here comes off. Oh great, looks like my little attachment here is busted. Son of a bitch. Time for a new one. Alright, see how it goes. I gotta let that thing run for... Son of a bitch. I don't know if I stepped on it or how that happened, but... pretty well dead. Anyway, quick tour of the garden. Anyway... You can see the crud that came out of there. It's very, at the end of the season, it doesn't even need scraping. It says to do this every time, and usually I try to do that. Might be a time if the grass is so dry when I don't do it, but usually I do it every time because in the long run it pays off. Stuff doesn't get caked on there, and I don't end up with a situation where I got to scrape it off anyway, even though I do that most of the time. Today is the second sunny day in a row, finally, after all the rain. The garden's looking much better. Nothing's getting very big. It's been quite a few weeks now, 3 weeks and a couple of days, so what, 23 days. They're not getting much bigger, but they're looking a lot better today than they were 2 days ago. They were turning brownish yellow. Tomato plants and peppers, now everything is getting nice and green after a day and a half of sun. It's only 12:30, and so they've been getting a little bit of sun for a while. There's the chives again, ready to be harvested. The only thing I don't see growing, and I think it was supposed to be in here, is the gourds. And then you dry them out for a year, and then you can use them for crafts and decorating like they do at 4C Camp for adults. This horseradish, I treated all this before the last batch of rain last week. It only had a day and a half to get the bugs. Hopefully we got the bugs under control. These are the cucumbers. They've been in there for all these time. I'll get something out of it, but at least they didn't rot. They're just not getting very big in rainy, cool weather. And then I think these are butternut and a bunch of pumpkin that I just had so many seeds from a salvaged pumpkin that I just spread them around and see what happens. So maybe we'll have some pumpkin pie this fall. Dogs are in the house because they didn't need to come back out right now when they're going to get near the mower. Still not 100% back to green and healthy looking, but a lot better than they were. So garlic, I hope the bulbs are doing as well as the tops. And I hope the yellow squash, that's our favorite. I mean, I think this is it, so I'll get some plants. Red peppers over there. Alright, catch you later. Another thing I should mention, I was with the guy, the original owner of this machine. He bought it at Tractor Supply a couple of years ago. And the guy, the sales rep there was saying don't use 87 octane, use premium. And my buddy's like, this guy must own stock in the oil companies or something. And so he's a mechanic and retired. And so he researched it, and he says, yeah, the guy was absolutely right, because the 10% ethanol in the cheap gas isn't good for small engines like this. So if he says it too, it's a safe bet that it's true. So unfortunately, this is cheap gas in there that I bought for the other machines, but somewhere along the way I will give it a dose of better gas. Okay, that's all. Until I think of something else I forgot. Well, believe it or not, this used to be the mower. I mowed the whole thing with that. The back and the front. Anyway, you got the idea. Used to take better part of a day. But she always starts. Unfortunately, the top is starting to rot through. Right there, but she's on her last legs, but so far so good.